Humidor shop, Humidor shop, get ready. Humidor shop, get ready. Humidor shop, sports. Humidor shop, cigars. Humidor shop, get ready. Humidor shop, get ready. Humidor shop.
Yo, what's up, man? This is your boy, Mr. SmokeFella. We back here with another episode of Humidor Sports and Cigars, man. We are out here at Water Lamone's. I got my fellas with me. Got my boy Sweets in the back. We got a nice little sweet, cute one in the back over here. Say hey, I can't hear you. All right, man. Hey, we also got a special guest on the show, man, to break cigars. Our man Lex. Lex, say what's up to the people, man.
What up, people? We about to smoke and let this motherfucker ride.
Right, we all over here smoking on the break cigars. Listen.
Right.
Real fuck. We got my boy TB in the house.
You know how I do.
It's Tibbs. It's Tibbs.
AKA Mr. Good Looking, AKA Damn Girl You Fine, AKA The One.
Oh, right.
He all right, right. We got my boy DY, the SmokeFellas resident DJ. What's up, my man?
Top of the morning. Happy to be back on the show. Ready to get into it, fellas. Got a lot to talk about.
We got our very own. He sub in for Angry Man a lot. KDL. Are you angry today or are you KDL 33? Which one is?
What is happening? Good morning, peoples. How y'all doing? Let's talk some sports.
He went to Thornton. That's why he said peoples.
My 205 brother, bro.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere because I got my boy Lucky Lefty over here.
Present. Straight to the point.
Present, straight to the point. All right, man, we're going to get right into it, man.
Wait. One fucking minute. Everybody get an introduction but me.
You know that's no you.
All right.
Hey, I wanted to see if anybody was paying attention.
But I see my man PG69, a.k.a. Skillet, a.k.a. Face. What's up, man?
Hello, everybody except for him.
Hey, I just want to make sure people pay attention. You know. No, but let's get right into it, man, because we got a lot to talk about. Tibbs. He gets the gate. He gets his pink slip. He gets fired. He gets walked out of the stadium. He is now gone as New York Knicks coach, man. If some people on the panel don't think it was right, if some people say it needs to be done, kind of like how Phil Jackson took over for the Bulls and took them to the next level, or did Tibbs not really get a chance because each year he made them better? They grew. They got to the Eastern Conference.
Stop. In the words of Sly, stop.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm putting it out here. Now we about to discuss. Kev, I'm going to let you go first because you don't agree with this. Let's go.
I absolutely do not agree. I think it's typical New York shit. But let's speak on it. You cannot fire a guy. Well, I guess you can. I guess you can. But any logical organization would not fire a guy, right? That in 5 years you were in the playoffs 4 of them. In 5 years you went back-to-back 50-win seasons. In 5 years you just made the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years under this guy. Does he have his flaws? Of course, every coach does. But it's stupid to fire a guy that y'all lost last year in the semifinals. This year you lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, which means you're headed up. That means you're going in the right direction. And the guy was 2 games away from the finals. And 2 days later, after the series lost, you fire him as if it's his fault. So I don't understand that. So we're not going to fire the GM that put 2 stars together, Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, that don't fit. They don't complement each other. Neither one of them play defense. Tibbs was a defensive coach.
Oh, by the way,
Leave it in on that.
by the way, they gave him a $30 million extension to you.
No, I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get. You just extended them last year. You owed a man $30 million.
All right, but I need you to land the plane. There's other people out here.
So the plane is landing saying that was bullshit. It's typical New York shit. You should have never fired that man, and you didn't have a replacement plan in place. Go ahead.
TB.
I think they did the right thing. For here's an example: the Bulls could never get past Detroit. They got Phil Jackson. They swept. Who did the Knicks lose to 2 years in a row?
Indy.
They lost to Indy. They can't beat Indy. All right. Then on top of that, as far as Leon Rowe goes, the GM, he's the dummy. They gave 5 number 1 picks for Mikal Bridges.
Right.
Not LeBron James, not Kevin Durant, but Mikal Bridges.
True. That's not Tibbs' fault.
Okay, no, it's not. But I believe a GM will go to a head coach first and say, "Hey, what you need?" Last point, because there is a lot of us. Tibbs wears down his players. Well, there is nothing left.
No argument.
Like, there is nothing left for them. The reason why they keep winning because he don't play a bench. The other team playing the bench, and he still got his starters in. They gonna catch him and win. Tibbs should have been going out of Chicago. He thought he was King Dingley here. And he think he King Dingley in there. He thought he was King Dingley in Minnesota.
We're going to pause on that word.
No.
We're gonna pause on that.
DY.
So I think the common trend in today's NBA is it's a results-driven league, obviously, and you've seen the trend with even with championship-winning head coaches, Budenholzer in Milwaukee, Malone just this year in Denver. It really doesn't mean anything for you to be your winning percentage doesn't count for anything. Your longevity doesn't count for anything. How many years you coach don't count for anything. Right now, everybody is forced to put coaches in there that can win and win championships. And if you cannot do that and you do it on a regular basis, then you're going to be gone. Gone are the days of the Spoelstras and the Steve Kerrs. You're not. Those are the 2 most tenured head coaches that you have in the league right now. And guess who the third one is? Billy Donovan. And he's won nothing. So at the end of
number 4, right?
So at the end of the day, if you look at the list of coaches, none of them stay in one place for very long. I just think you're seeing what the new age NBA is looking like.
Well, let's go ahead and ask the breaks. What's your thought on this?
I'm just gonna touch on 2 points. Fundamentals and playing time. So Kevin and I have been discussing this for the last probably decade. Derrick Rose was on the court when he should not have been when he got injured. They were up by exponential points when they got injured. It's ridiculous. And I revisited that this year in round 1 when they was blowing teams out and their starters were still on the floor with 4 minutes to go. There wasn't no way the team was gonna come back. So fundamentally, Tibbs have never changed. He doesn't trust his bench. And he's historically known for having a 6 or 7 man rotation, which is ridiculous. You paying men millions to sit on the bench to do nothing when some of those brothers are talented. I'm not here to slam them. I'm just here to talk the facts.
Slam his ass.
Carl Anthony Towns.
That was just like saying no disrespect.
Right. I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there. But Carl Anthony Towns, I don't think he's a good fit for Brunson. I don't think Brunson is a good fit for New York. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think that there's a double standard there because his father's there and he's allowed to play a certain game along with his coach, along with his father being on the sideline. That's not a knock to his father.
I heard they don't like
But
it.
I don't think Carl Anthony Towns can handle the glitz and glamour of New York City. That's just my personal opinion.
So do you think that was a GM thing?
I think it was a GM thing and a Tibbs thing. Because what they had was undersized. Julius Randle's undersized. You're not going to win a championship with Julius Randle. There's no knock to him.
Agreed.
I love Julius Randle since he came from Kentucky, even when he was a Laker. You know how I feel about the Lakers. But Julius Randle is just, conditioning-wise, I just don't see it. I feel like there's something missing from his training regimen so that he can make it through a full season. And I just leave it there.
PG.
So I think there's another element of this situation that we all are actually missing, and it comes to players, bro. We all know that it's a players' league. The players can get the coaches fired quick, and I believe that some of those players actually have something to do with Tibbs getting fired. When you're only playing 67 people, you got just grown-up people on that bench, and one of the people is the same dude that keep getting them fired everywhere he go. We ain't gonna speak on that. Everywhere Tibbs go, your boy there, and he got him fired twice.
Who's that?
All that been time.
Oh, Minnesota.
Cows got the man fired twice.
I don't think 1 year time will get him fired.
Lefty.
When you got a team that's already, when you got a team that's good to go there, I believe so.
I think that where I disagree with it is because he did go from the second round to the Eastern Conference Finals, and going back to TV, when Doug Collins and the Bulls had hit a wall, right? They couldn't get past the Eastern Conference Finals. I think you got to at least give him one more year to see if he can take the next step, because it's a crazy look. And now you're looking at whatever this next hire is, the pressure is on. It better hit.
Malone.
Whoever it is, this next hire better hit. Because like Kev made a great point, he has taken this team from pretty much irrelevant other than in New York. They would to where they are now. My other point is, I don't think, regardless who the coach is, I don't think you can win a championship with a player like Brunson. Not with this style of play. I don't believe you can win. Not championship. You're gonna win games. You're gonna get some excitement. You can probably make a couple of nice little playoff runs, but especially the liability on defense, along with just pound.
He's tough.
Just not gonna run. No, he's tough. I mean, he's gonna get his. There's been a lot of players in NBA history that put up numbers and they never won shit.
Hard facts.
You'll be a great player on bad teams.
See that? And OKC would have smothered.
I don't know if you agree with this, Kev. I think they can win with a player like Brunson, but they have to have somebody on the block who's committed to playing on the block. If Karl Anthony Towns stay on the block and committed to playing on that block, bro, they would.
But when is he gonna get the ball?
Well,
With 3 seconds on the shot.
I'm gonna call BS a little bit.
With 3 seconds on the
I'm gonna
shot.
call BS, man.
So Pat, you saying that as him as 1A, Brunson is 1A? As a star of the team, they can win a championship?
Nah, it'll be like
Let's go back to
they need somebody
the Bulls with Doug Collins, right? Doug Collins, you said, couldn't get him over the hump, right? He gets fired. Field takes the seat. The GM, Krause, made several small little moves because they got rid of Oakley and brought in Bill for some size and all that.
All right.
Right. So they made some moves. So I think Leon Rose, they should have made some moves to put some different pieces in, because that Nova 4, Nova 5, that shit is done. You need to put some pieces. You need to put some different pieces. You keep.
But you just did that, though.
Cat is there. Cat should stay. I think Cat and Brunson can coexist. They just had a year together. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
And a whole training camp.
But you further up. You don't fire him.
Right. You don't. It's not him. You change and plug in some different pieces that that were exposed against Indiana. Now that team was built to beat Boston.
Yes.
It should have been built to beat anybody.
It was built to beat Boston.
Right. It should have been built to beat anybody and not just one team.
Too bad they went down, so they wouldn't be.
Porzingis would have been healthy.
But I think, and the reason I say that about Brunson, I was listening to John Sally on the podcast. He made a great point. I think players like that, you have to get a system. You remember with the Bulls when Doug Collins let Michael Jordan just go crazy. Just do you.
Right.
Field and Tex Winners came in. They implemented the triangle. They kind of, brought a little structure to it. I think that's the only way with a player like Brunson. But, I mean, I watch him, man.
That's why I say
I just watch him. I don't even know who you compare with.
No, I got a problem with it.
You got
That's why he got put out of Dallas, because you can't have two people pound the ball like that.
And with Bronson, you got to have a defensive center back there that can turn shots away when they go past. Why ain't coming in?
No.
Oh,
I'm just saying somebody walk up.
right. Yeah, you have to have a defense. You can't have two, your big man and your point guard who was small. Neither one of them play deep.
Neither one.
All right, and let's keep it real. Josh Hart, trash.
Oh wow.
Trash.
Wow.
All right. All he do is fall all over the damn court. He don't do nothing else.
He probably the hardest worker.
But you
You don't mind hard work.
You need hard hats like that. Though.
I'm not he's not trash because he's one of the least hard rebounders.
He can do it. But so is Steph.
Well, Steph
But
is
you
wrong
need
rebounds.
you need hard hats.
We had
That
that
can
argument.
do it.
Nah. He's one of the best guard rebounders in the league. He hustles on all that. Like you said, every team needs one. But let's
That's
go
a
down.
trade
Let's
piece,
let's
man.
go down New York.
That's a trade piece.
Because people, well, yeah, but people say Chill didn't play his bench, right? Go down the next bench.
Yeah, Shamrock, or whatever his name is.
Simon.
He wouldn't play at all.
The A-Rap.
Simon.
He wouldn't play at all.
What's the other dude? Daniels or what's the other cat? DeLon, something that came in. Now they came the one game they came in. The first time he played them, they balled out.
He balled out.
He was forced to play because they bought some foul trouble.
Right.
So my biggest thing is this, man. Tibbs have his flaws, but you knew Tibbs don't play a bench when you hire him. So don't wait 5 years later for him to take you to the Eastern Conference Finals and then you fire him.
That's a good point.
But you changed the team. Leon Rose, you got rid of Dante, you got rid of Julius Randle, you gave up picks, all that. You did that. Tibbs didn't do that. Tibbs coached what you gave him the next year, which what you gave him, he took you a step further.
Okay. Well,
This ain't his fault.
But then you can say Leon Rose did that too because he made the trades for Cat.
Yeah.
That take them a step further.
Okay. But Tibbs still had to coach the team.
But you gotta hit a wall first before you just pop him. Like he did go up, but he did take a step up.
Right.
Let him lose again in Eastern, or let him next year. Like
He might not have got fired because he might not have got fired because of the results. He might have got fired.
It's the fundamentals again, bro. He ran his team in the ground last year. That's why
Well, he did that before you had.
So hold on. Let me ask what you got.
he was gassed out in the playoff last year, so he's done it again.
Here's a question. So is it possible that he got fired this year because they suggested changes to him and he never made any change? As far as playing his bench or playing a different style of basketball.
That could be.
Is that possible?
That is possible.
Okay, then he's a dirty
Because
guy.
you know that's why he got fired in Chicago. Because Paxson was telling him, you got to play these other guys. You can't keep wearing these guys. All right, and then the wrong shit. That just look at me.
He wore that team.
Yeah, you wore it. You wrote Noah retired. Look at what's the point for the Celtics? Horford. Him and Noah came in again.
Yeah.
Horford
Still playing.
I think
No, you were.
the Rose thing was bad, but the Dang thing is when they was like, you know what? All right, this dude had to get
So
a
Ben, I wasn't gonna bring this up, but this dude was in the hospital with a spinal tap. He said he will be playing tomorrow. I'm certain he'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
He's waiting
that's why I said that right there was the nail in the coffin right there.
And the only reason he didn't get Jimmy was younger than that.
Jimmy got about it.
No, Jimmy was younger than that.
Yeah, Jimmy was young.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah.
Jimmy said he subbed him in from the hospital.
Playing tomorrow.
Now, you remember when Tim Turner was in the hospital and the doctor said she need rest? I said, no, this bitch got to get up now. What's wrong?
Yeah, you know, I always think outside the box. Like the status quo with sports, especially. So are y'all insinuating? Watch it. Are y'all insinuating, or is the country insinuating? ESPN insinuating that this will turn into a Steve Kerr situation? Is somebody gonna come in here like a Jason Kidd?
That's why I said this next hire.
Okay,
is
so
support.
since you want to go he and make the pass, who are the coaches
Mike Malone.
that you would like to see show up there?
Can I pull the money? Conspiracy theory. I got one. I thought about this.
No, he is law and order's finest.
Yeah.
That's
Jackson.
that's Tutuola over there
There's a reason.
without the ponytail.
First of all, Mike Malone, good coach. He's a champion, right? But Mike Malone did the same thing in Denver that Tibbs did. He only played 7 people. So you bring in that same
But he
type of
won a
guy.
championship with them.
He did. He
He's
did.
talking about Malone from the big Curves assist.
But he's the same type of coach. Here's my conspiracy. There's a reason why they're reaching out. They probably gonna get him, but there's a reason why they're reaching out to Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, Coach Brunson. Jason Kidd, Coach Giannis. The rumor is that Giannis is going to New York some kind of way. He's going to New York.
Right. Everything.
Everything.
Giannis is going every damn
Yeah.
shit.
Jason Kidd, Coach Brunson, and Giannis.
I posted
It makes sense for me to go after Kidd if he wants to leave Dallas, which I want to leave Cooper Flag, Kyrie. I want to do. But let's say he did, and he gets to New York, and all of a sudden they put a trade in and they get Giannis. That's my conspiracy. They're talking to Kidd to get him there for Giannis and Brunson, who he's both coach.
Would-
Like
Yeah, but I think Kidd
I
really
wouldn't.
had a problem with that Luka situation. He wasn't.
they didn't like it. Yeah, they didn't like it.
I think that pissed him off. Like the fact that you didn't consult with him, you didn't talk to him and made a move like
Yeah,
that.
And then you threw him in the
So it is a chance.
I don't believe that.
He would be willing to.
I don't believe that.
I don't think they talk.
The same way LeBron said he didn't know nothing about it.
Oh, did you say
Nah,
he's doing the press?
now,
Get your
hold on.
movie ass.
Did y'all hear the one name that everybody should be shocked to hear? Is Jeff Van Gundy coming back?
Yeah. Okay, let me say this and we can move on. Two things.
Because I left.
Mark Jackson ain't coming. All right.
Yeah.
He ain't got a head coach job yet. He ain't coming.
Unfortunately, you're right.
It's time for y'all to be at that with Kevin.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Number two, for the Knicks to get Giannis, they're gonna have to keep up that whole team. All right. And it ain't worth Giannis going there.
Whatever coach he does.
And number two, fuck the Knicks. Fuck Thibodeau. This is Chicago, and this is when we rock Thibodeau. Thibodeau,
I mean, he took you from
Lolo. Later's not in power.
I remember. Since y'all dog to Chicago, I remember that was the last coach that took y'all the furthest y'all went to play.
Man, we can't pick over there, man.
Right. So don't do that. Let's keep it in the.
Nobody said
All I'm saying.
he said,
So wait, let's get back on top. The coaches out there. I'm with you with Malone. I don't see that. He's just like this. Same camp coach. Memphis old coach. What's his name?
Oh, Tyler.
Taylor Jenkins.
Jenkins. That could be.
yeah. For what?
For what? Come back to New York.
And when they do take the hand.
The dude used to be
See, I mean, unless it's some assistant that they think is the next one, the same way Udoka came up.
Udoka came up.
Oh, you know the name.
Houston ain't letting him go.
No, they gonna open up a bag and say we're
So
gonna give you an
unless it's
extension.
some, unless they think it's like we didn't know who Phil Jackson was when he came up. They fired Doug Collins. So if it's a guy like that, I think Sam Cassell
might be trying to throw his hand in that shit too.
Sam to the Ben House. Yeah, why do you have no Sam to the Ben House?
That's actually another dude we need to pay.
I think Sam is being choicey. He just ain't. Sam is not just gonna go to any team just to get a job.
Audience, the little cracks from LeBron, Donnell Jones, disregard them. I'm part of SmokeFellas Inc.
Wait, come out. Did he say Benson?
No, it definitely did.
Oh.
They said Benjamin.
Okay, all right. It is what it is.
man, Sam Cassell better take a job just like Chauncey did.
It ain't like you could be a model on that. You know what I'm saying? Selling the head. You got to see his face.
I mean, sometimes you gotta take a job. Now,
He's a coach. No.
I mean, the problem thing is, it's not too many jobs. It's not going to be a lot of situations like this with the Knicks where the team is going to these guys finally fire a coach. and that opportunity.
It's New York.
It's you know, that's not the norm. But I just don't think. I don't know. They gotta have somebody, man. They gotta be maybe somebody that was on the bench with him.
Okay, funny you should say.
I can't, because I don't see who.
There's an assistant named Bryant. His last name Bryant. He left New York. That's how Daddy Brunson got the assistant head coaching job. He was an assistant head coach. He left and went to Cleveland.
Right.
His name,
So his
back
name
in the
is
mix,
popped up.
to come back and now be the head coach. It's a good, some dude, last name Bryant.
Yeah,
He
it's
was on the Knicks bench.
it's the young brother. It's the young brother that was on
black
Cleveland's bench.
He was on Cleveland's bench, but he used to be on New York's bench. I didn't bring him back. Yeah, but he's assistant head coach.
Whoever it is, it better work.
So now they want to bring him back as head coach.
They mess around.
That team is ready to win now. You can't put nobody doing it.
If that team go out the first round,
You got to be. What's the Milwaukee
What's
coach?
the
that won
first
the
Boone Hole.
Boonhouse or whatever, or Malone.
Well,
You got to put somebody.
okay.
we seen
Time out.
But Budenholzer-
Budenholzer was stopped. He was on the brink of getting fired before they got on that run and won the chip. And because he was about to get fired, I was on him just like I was on Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
So
What brother at that doctor placed in with that Milwaukee rolling?
That's what we talking about.
That's what we talking
No.
no. From
Used to be in the league.
he was on the Bulls bench.
Yeah, he was on the Bulls.
Adrian Griffin? Hell no. He been out of coaching for years.
No, he's been out of coaching.
So
since
it's a few names that's left that haven't been mentioned. Mike Brown's been mentioned. Frank Vogel's been mentioned. And Monty Williams have been. I'm just saying those are
Monty.
I wanted Monty.
Monty might be a nice fit.
Monty a player.
Coach my man from UConn.
Dan Hurley.
No.
But I don't think he going.
First of all, Dan won't, because Dan like to holler, cuss out. These grown ass men ain't gonna deal with that.
He got to stay in his lane with the kids.
Oh my God.
That's not work.
I don't know. I'm with Sweets on the recycling these old coaches, especially these coaches that haven't won. You talking about getting over the top? Like, what are you gonna do? So the dude that replaced you, Dope, with a little weird cat in Boston. Nobody knew him. He came in and took him to the next level. So you may not want to make the team with prime.
First of all,
But this next team is prime, man. They just
They got lucky. I don't think it would have been there. They wouldn't have beat Boston. You lost to the same team.
hold on. Game one,
They
he got out coached, and he sat there on the sideline looking like this.
What is that?
Yeah.
I would love to see Penny come from the collegiate level to the NBA level.
Not to that
You
big.
think Memphis will go to New York?
He keep getting in trouble.
Okay, so let me ask you
Right.
this.
There you go.
It's gonna be his
2
fault.
years ago, the Pacers beat the Knicks 2 years ago, right? And they beat them this year.
Yeah.
Who did the Pacers have that made a big thing?
Pascal.
No.
That's how
They had one of the major guys that's balling out for them this year. He was hurt last year.
Ben
McDonald's.
the dude from Arizona, he averaged about 17, 18 points a game.
Okay.
Ben
You
McCullough.
got one person. You brought in an all-star from Minnesota in Cat. And y'all still couldn't beat these boys.
You know why?
Because they didn't
You
fit,
can't
bro.
beat them.
You know why they can't beat
never
him?
complimented
It's a man named Rick Carlisle that's on that bench.
go.
That's a hellified coach. A hellified coach,
The
man.
reason I'm surprised you say that because we could have said the same thing about the Bulls and Pistons because they couldn't beat Detroit. 2 years. It's the same thing. You lost to them 2 years, right?
But let me ask you
But
this.
eventually they beat them, so you can't
Because
really.
they made small
Was
changes.
it
the same.
okay?
Small changes.
And who grew up? Scotty. Scotty was the whole difference of that series.
Hold
They could never.
Hold on. Y'all forget, Scotty wasn't the only person that grew up. Horace grew up. BJ, they all grew up.
But the one who was a punkin'.
Oh yeah, they was
They were
punking too.
punkin', Scotty. And all these people, including you, Scotty, they've been paying attention.
Hey, watch your mouth.
You start talking that shit, talking about Jordan was the one without you.
Watch your mouth.
Jordan should have had 8, Mr. Migraine.
That's facts.
I disagree with that.
Shit. Jordan should have had 8.
Terrible.
Y'all want to beat Elijah one that game. Y'all know that.
Niggas, you
Well, go ahead.
crazy.
We would have won.
I want
Yeah.
to
I'm talking about even before they got to that they should have beat Detroit way before then.
They should have.
Well, okay, same thing.
They
You
should
lose first round, second round, you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Bulls was doing this. Then, okay, I guess same thing. Get rid of Collins, put Phil in there.
It was more them boys grew up.
Well, I agree with you. It was Scott.
So how do we know some of the youngsters in New York? Maybe Bridges just takes a step up next year.
Well, you can't.
You don't think Bridges is in the center? I do.
Bridges is who he is.
I think they play him wrong.
I do too.
They play him wrong. They play him wrong.
It's mighty funny because Bridges balled out in Phoenix.
And you know what?
With the Nets.
You know what?
And all of a sudden, he gets
Because
to
he
New
had a
York.
point guard getting the
But
ball.
look how many touches he was getting. Look how many touches.
Boston not that guard.
You got a dude that's dribbling the ball 19 out of 24 seconds.
I had 5 seconds.
For New York to win, and I'm gonna say this, DJ Silk, for New York to win, Brunson has to change his game. Period.
Barkley was saying that.
But then he ain't worth nothing.
Everybody
No,
like Barkley don't know what he's talking
no.
about.
When I say
Brunson changed his game, he ain't worth nothing.
This is true.
he got,
I do get off the ball.
You got to get off the ball,
He's
dog.
gonna lose his identity though. He's gonna lose his identity.
he
They'll never
can't
win.
pound the ball.
Do you know if New York would have won that series, they'd have ran into OKC with all them long dudes. They would have got the ball out of Brunson's hand game.
Guess
They would
what?
have got swept.
Kevin, it's the same thing, just like Westbrook. Hell of a talent, but he can't not pound the ball and be effective, bro. That's just who he is as a
He don't
player.
pound the ball like Brunson.
Let me take you to AI. AI was a little guard,
He
right?
didn't necessarily pound it.
He never pounded the ball.
Right, he didn't necessarily
He
pound it.
took 3 and he was at the basket, or he took a couple of dribbles, he was shooting. That's what Brunson needs to do. Limit his dribbles and just be effective.
But can he find his shot?
And who could fix that?
Coach.
A coach.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So,
You got to implement a system.
Can he find his
well,
shot?
that part too, but there's very few teams out there with systems.
A real point guard.
But
Make
you,
a team that's
We
not
don't know.
He's a rhythm player, bro.
We don't know.
But here's the thing.
We've never seen him take 2 or 3 dribbles to shoot the ball. He's a rhythm player. He might need 5 or 6. He might need
But
to
it ain't
be on
about
top of the key.
You're the point.
I
You need to make sure
understand
Bridges
that.
don't touch
That's
it.
why he's not the point guard in New York, bro.
He's a shooting
He's
guard.
not the point guard.
You got to get Bridges involved. You got to keep Robinson.
You know,
happy.
another name that I heard out there was Kenny, the Jet Smith.
Oh, what?
I'm just telling you.
AJ Redick came out of nowhere.
Hey,
JJ Redick.
I'm a firm believer if you got a good point guard, pass first, get everybody in their rhythm, it's better than a scoring point guard any day.
That's all we got.
I'm gonna say this.
The Bulls don't. They got Josh Giddey. He gets the ball out.
I know Sweets talked about the whole recycling thing, but Mark Jackson has yet to get another job. Mark Jackson.
he blackballed.
And he never
He
will.
blackballed.
This is, you know what? This
You
is
can put some shuffle on him.
Even
I
blackball.
don't know if it's over with yet. I don't know if it's
this.
over with yet.
Think about this. Think about this. This is his second chance to get a New York job. Remember, he came open and gave to Derek Fisher. This is his second chance to get a New York job.
Well, other jobs.
This will be a third.
It's his third go round, but the Knicks is open. He's out there, right? So this is his third time.
Mark Jackson won't bow down and kiss the ring. He won't humble himself.
But if he do get it, he can get him there.
I
I do believe that. I think you have to.
I think he could coach.
The thing
I know
is,
it's been a minute.
like I said, I'll go back to what John said. He made a great point about it. Systems can be very important. Like the past dynasty, right? The Bulls with the triangle, the Lakers inherited. You know, when Phil went there, Pop with the Spurs, he got a system. Even Kerr has a system in place. Guys aren't just running around pounding the damn ball, throwing it up. That's like teams that's winning multiple championships. That's why, like the last one, we haven't had it back to back in what 5 years, 4 or 5 years now.
Rough.
At least.
You're right.
was like Golden State.
Yep.
Yeah. With
About 7 years.
It's about 7, right? So you aren't going to get those dynasties when you just let these guys just run and do it. Like one guy just take the ball, pound. Like, it'll get you maybe through a season. Like you may get 1 year where you win it, but you're not going to run off multiple championships without some type of system in place. And Brunson, you got to put him in some kind of system.
Brunson, like I say, he has to change his game because if the greatest player that we had ever seen in our time changed his game for the triangle. For the triangle, he changed his game, bro.
He adjusted his game.
But he took
Okay,
he
same-
adjusted 35 shots.
Right.
But he was
He
also
adjusted
allowed
his
to
game.
make the over when it was
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he changed his. But before that, Jordan was putting them up everywhere. Yeah, everything. When the triangle came, it structured Jordan's game, and that's what needs to happen with Brunson.
You saw that last when he sold the ball from Malone. It wasn't no go get in the triangle. Yeah, get the fuck out the way.
Yeah.
Let's run
But
it.
that triangle allowed him throughout the first 3 quarters to kind of, play within the system that don't wear you out. Where you just pound and shoot. Not by the fourth quarter, you ain't got no damn legs.
Another series, he said Scotty.
even though we're going against the grain, I would love to see Rondo get a chance. I think Rondo would could coach the shit out of the New York.
I think Rondo would be a hell of a
Most point guards can
I think
step into the coaching range
Yeah.
His
easily.
attitude
Because
goes
they're not
with
really
New York Knicks basketball.
So
Hard-nosed basketball.
That's why I went into
I think he'll be a good coach. To be honest, I wouldn't give him.
Hold on now.
I wouldn't give him.
Come on.
What he say?
He talking
He
about
mumbled something.
He said most point guard can be good coach. I said yeah, because they're not running play. Talking about that's why I want to coach. Be cool. Going too far.
Isaiah was a terrible coach. Magic was a terrible coach.
Well,
You're talking about the top, probably the 2 greats.
So you asking great players to try to, you know what I mean? Like, and they looking at you like you don't get it, but you're great.
Isaiah wasn't a bad coach. He was a bad GM. He was a bad, terrible GM. And that's
Killer on their team. A killer that
He
can get.
buried him.
You know what? We down. I'm gonna take it over.
I mean, Brunson
So
can
let's
get you a
get
bucket.
let's get out. He's so small though.
He can get you a bucket.
He is a killer though.
You know, get you a bucket.
Let's move on.
I'm just saying. Man. Well, I want to give my man Lex a little time to talk about his break cigars. So, man,
We all smoke.
we smoking this stick, man. So tell us all about the blue band, man.
So I am the co-founder and president of the Break Cigar. You can check me out at thebreakcigars.com. I just recently released 4 new profiles: a 5x50 Ecuadorian Habano, a 5x50 broadleaf Robusto small batch series, 7x42 Indonesian Lancero, which is taking off in a crazy way, and my 6x60 double perfecto broadleaf. We're receiving rave reviews behind the cigars right now, and I just love all the support we're receiving in the Midwest. And we've recently moved on to California. I will be in Texas, and I just shipped some cigars to Africa as well. I'm working on something out there. I have a ton of events coming up. And as I stated on Unplugged earlier this week, I do have a humongous house event coming up for Labor Day. I just cannot put the flyer out just yet. There's a couple different things that we have to move around because the venue was too small. We just locked down a new venue. So the flyers and the names are in regards to that will be coming out very soon. And I appreciate y'all having me on here. Me and Kevin finally being able to go toe to toe. All right, 2 District 205.
Hey man, congrats on everything.
Congrats.
Where's the other found that, man? His nephew, his uncle.
Steve is occupied today.
Well, bottom line, if you're a brother of the Leaf, sister of the Leaf, check out the Break Cigars, man. He got everything that all the smokers need. Go out and support the brother.
Great smoke. Great smoke too, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
And shout out to the SmokeFellas. I remember SmokeFellas was the first people at my festival, I believe, in 2022 or 2023 when we launched during COVID. And they showed up and showed out. They helped me set up. They stayed the whole time. They helped me shut down. They supported me ever since. So I'm going to always be indebted to them and support them.
No doubt. Appreciate you, brother.
So we're going to flip on over to the pig skin. We're going to come back to that, man. We still got a lot of time.
Strong segue.
Hey, we got time. We got time, man. We got time. We're going to flip over because, man, everybody has been talking about Aaron Rodgers showing up at the Steelers camp. He's signing the contract. So, man, everybody on this show have at one point and said GFY to Rodgers. So let's go ahead and talk about it. He finally going to show up. What do you think about it, Lefty?
Well, let me say this. I did They did talk about ESPN 1000. He does have 2 family members that are battling cancer. So that was the personal issue. So I think we all can kind of relate to that and say, hey, okay,
Stall
we
them
kind
out a
of
little
understand.
bit. Stall them out a little
We
bit.
can understand it, but I think because of his past and his attitude
Right.
and how he carries himself, it just seemed very arrogant. Either way, I'm like, look, I don't always dislike him because he a packer to me. I don't care what uniform he got on. He a packer and he a bear killer. So I'm always dislike him, but I'll never take away the fact that that's a bad man with that ball. But now he ain't been all that the last couple of years as far as wins, but probably one of the best arms ever. Like as far as like throwing that pigskin, the boy got a rocket. Let's just call it what it is. But I think this is a critical year for Mike Tomlin, and I hate to see it go like this. Like he doesn't seem like he's in the winning. Rodgers, like it's like he enjoys the attention. Like, yeah, you want me, you got to wait for me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was so glad Aaron Glenn shitted on him with the Jets. We don't want you. Aaron Glenn literally flew him in. You ain't talking about the phone. He flew him in. Said he went out the room for me and came back in like
That was gangster. That was gangster. I give you that was gangster. So all of that could have been handled on phone, email. They could have been virtual, but he said no.
He could have sent the text.
They sent the jet to go get him.
Can you imagine getting? Can you imagine having a girlfriend on the other side of the country to fly out that you can dump your ass? It's over.
Kind of like
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now the way you just framed it up, a girlfriend on the other side of the world flew you in and said, "It's over, hoes."
We're just gonna do another.
I'm just doing me right now. I need some time.
Right. That's the phrase.
Hey, let me ask you this though. Do you not think, and I'm not arguing what you're saying by no means, do you not think that Mike Tomlin didn't have any say so in bringing him in?
I think so.
He had to agree with it.
Because you said that you don't like how it's looking for him basically in this year with him, because he's always had a winning record his entire coaching career. He's never had in the Steelers.
Mediocre.
Let me throw this flag out there. Because what did
I?
I say at the beginning of the season?
They
Y'all clown me and said I was high when I said that they were going to get tired of the mediocre. And for them, that's mediocre.
They hit a wall.
They hit that wall.
And they
Pittsburgh. And I said, they're going to come for Tomlin. You high, he winning. You, sir, said that I was nuts.
He
did say that.
But it is, but we've also seen in the past, like sometimes it's just time to move on, right? Andy Reid with the Eagles, right? It was time to move on. I don't think the Rooney's will ever fire him. They're gonna mutually agree to separate.
They're gonna trade him. They're gonna trade him.
What if he come in and run the table?
They'll never fire.
Now if he come in and run the table,
Because I agree with everything.
But I said they'll never fire.
I agree with everything you said about Aaron Rodgers, about him being arrogant, cocky, but everywhere he's went, he's dictated the terms. Just like Tom Brady did, bro. I want him, I want this offensive line, I want the center. So what if there's veterans, all pros that's at the cusp of being past their prime that take less money to come play with this man, they run the table.
So here's my thing.
Now,
then what?
it's getting too late though.
What you said with Tom.
You talking about the offseason?
But this is he only signed for 1 year deal, and now it's getting too late to bring in a bunch of new people.
And he's not doing it.
Well, before you say that,
Okay,
Pastor, when he was
Is that
doing
because
that,
of the coaching?
when he was dictating things, he was playing good. He was at the top of his game.
But the Jets, it was
He can't. Well, the Jets, he can't do that no more.
And what I was gonna say with Tomlin is, I don't think Pittsburgh necessarily want to get rid of Tomlin. They tired of him. The problem is they never prepared a quarterback, brother. So that started from the GM. The GM coming down. If they had ever got a quarterback and Tomlin was winning, you wouldn't even be mentioning his name about mediocrity or any of that. They blew that from the GM spot.
But have they ever been in a position like when the Bears got up to number 1 and were able to get a Caleb Williams, or Washington got to 2 and able to get a James Daniels? they win every year, so they always like near the bottom of the first round. So I mean, you take they took a shot with Kenny Pickett.
It makes
What do you used to say? They in hell.
Yeah,
They in hell.
You're not bad enough to get a great grade,
right.
You're not good enough to win.
So that is technically
The Bulls.
But
right.
Through free agency, they could have got some people better than Rudolph.
Yeah.
Justin Walker.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you this.
But Justin Walker. They offered.
They could have signed him before the year was up.
No, but Justin was pissed off. I think Justin was pissed about the bench.
Because of Russell Westbrook.
Like Justin ain't gonna come out publicly and say it, but I think Justin felt a certain way. Was them being 4-1, and then they benched him. Yeah. From that, he was like,
Let me ask you a question.
And he won their number one option coming back. So
And DY, I want to hear what you got to say on this. When was the last time Rodgers had a coach that coached him hard, tough, and made him actually play the game? When was the last time he had that?
McCarthy when he first
And before you go, now you got a hard-nosed coach that is not going to back down. I think he'll have a better season than he had the last two.
Well, he respect the coach in Pittsburgh more than he did the Babe brother.
You know, he ain't gonna overrun him.
Here's the difference in that, though. McCarthy was an offensive-minded play-calling coach.
True.
So when you're talking about scheme, when you're talking about plays for specific drives, him and McCarthy were side by side when it came to those things. Tomlin's not that. Tomlin's not an offensive-minded coach. He don't deal with the X's and O's when it comes to the offense. I think he's a great team coach. I'm not sure if this marriage is made to fit strictly because of that reason. I think you have to have somebody in that locker room that can, like you said, coach Aaron Rodgers. Not saying that he need to be coached up, but he needs somebody that he can work side by side with on that offense to make it something. Also, they're having problems with their star wide receiver. So they drafted well this year. They had a decent draft this year. But Aaron Rodgers don't have the tools that he had in New York. And he didn't have a horrible... Well...
Najee go.
Right. They let Najee go. They lost Pickens. They bought in Najee. So I'm just saying that dynamic has changed drastically compared to what he had. And he's always had those tools in Green Bay. You'll see another side of him perhaps this year. Now, he's known for making players great, too. So you may see that team evolve offensively with him there.
So who's offensive coordinator? Arthur Smith?
yeah. Arthur Smith.
Yeah. Okay. So supposedly they've been in contact, talking or whatever. And the whole thing about Rodgers, I don't like his attitude either. I respect his play. I don't like his attitude either. Y'all got to think of it like this. Pittsburgh never said nothing. Like the public, the media, like he holding them hostage and all that, right? Even players own it. Like, hey, man, either you want to be a Steeler, you don't. The defense, whatever they captain is, right?
The Irish said that he told him to take all the time he need.
Pittsburgh, right. I'm getting at that. Pittsburgh never said anything in the media. So apparently, whatever he was going through with his family, whatever, he probably gave them a date. Apparently, they already had a contract in place. They just never came out and said it publicly. So he missed the voluntary stuff and all that. Next week happens to be mandatory. All of a sudden, here comes the contract. He'll be there, right? So apparently they had a date where he was going to show up. Contract was in place. He gave them a date. Pittsburgh agreed to it, obviously, because Pittsburgh was never saying anything. You never heard nothing from Tomlin. The players was chirping, like, hey, man, you want to be a Steeler, you don't. What the hell? But he didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. So apparently the organization, okay, you either going to rock with us or you're not. We need you here mandatory. And he must have given him a mandatory day.
What's that handled properly, though? We talking about football. But I'm saying, but then that's their problem. They don't know how to develop quarterbacks. Just about as bad as the Bears. But if you, like, you talking about the guy that's going to run the offense, and with Rodgers, I agree with you. He had McCarthy in them, and those teams were built around Rodgers. He's actually like a plug-in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this is defense.
Like, right. So you're plugging them in, but that quarterback, you got to have camaraderie with the O-line, some type of rapport with your receivers. That don't happen in the middle of June.
So you don't think they're going
to the starters?
You don't think they're going to respect him enough to buy in to the things that he's doing?
There are going to be players that are going to have a problem. So
I disagree.
So
with
if you remember when Tom Brady came to Tampa,
Wide receivers won't.
remember when Brady went to Tampa, Bruce Arians had a totally different system.
Brady
Bruce
went
Arians
down
was a 7. Yeah, he went down there early, but it wasn't working. Remember, Arians was the seven-step drop guy. He get quarterbacks killed. All that. Jameis throwing 30-some interceptions. That dude, they had to change everything pretty much to New England's system.
But what happened that season?
What happened?
What happened? What was the outcome of that season?
The defense. Let's
Hey,
say that the defense won the
He changed his offense in the middle.
What
of the season.
happened?
They started off bad.
What happened at the end of the season?
They ended up winning. But you know,
So the question is back. Does Pittsburgh have the tools?
You can't say it was the defense and the defense only in Tampa Bay.
I didn't say
Stop that.
I didn't say
You can't. You're gonna stop that now.
They got more than
They
percentage.
killed Mahomes that game.
They got more than percentage than Brady.
Yeah,
But without getting Brady,
I'm talking about the season. It wasn't just the defense.
wasn't that COVID? Remember when Brady went down there and was working out with the receivers and they found out about it or whatever?
Somebody look it up. Did Tom have 3,000 yards?
I'm sure.
I'm sure he had 4,000. Exactly. So you can't say.
I didn't say
I'm talking to this man right here. You can't say that the offense did not do anything. It was just the defense. You just don't like Brady because he had the perfect fucking life.
On this from a different angle. I'm not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan. I just want to go on record. I'm just undetermined if I'm a Bears
Nobody
fan.
in Chicago likes him, man.
But the Bears let him into the playoffs to get that Super Bowl. I just want to put that out. But I'm gonna say this about Aaron Rodgers. Everybody unofficially is acting like this dude is washed. Keep in mind, there's no film on him from the Jets. This dude got injured, a couple snaps into the game? Or maybe the first quarter of the game. So we'll never know what he did in New York.
He played most of last year.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about
they was already in disarray.
Yeah,
they was already in disarray.
He played better towards the end of the year last year.
But what I'm saying is, we don't know what he's going to, as we all were saying for the most part, we don't know what he's going to do in the system with that type of culture and that type of accountability. Because there's some players there that could probably get him ran out. Hey, Mr. Owner, we don't like this motherfucker. Hey, Tomlin, what we going to do with this?
Who was at the comment? Like,
And 41 years old, right? He ain't going to be around too much.
But I do want to take one jab at them.
Team anyway.
I'm going to take one professional jab at them. Had they drafted Shador Sanders, I think it would have been a much better conversation. I think people would have bought into it. And I really would like to know if I could sit next to Mike Tomlin and ask him, was it you that said you didn't want him, or the ownership say, we not drafting?
I think
Because that would have been the perfect marriage.
Tomlin needed a quarterback. So I don't think Tomlin was like, I ain't gonna mess with him.
But don't forget,
I don't think that's Tomlin.
Right, Tomlin's not offensive.
Yeah, he is, but he needs a quarterback.
No,
So I
no,
don't think he would have.
But to the next point, though, with 2 minutes left in the game, I need a score. It ain't too many quarterbacks in the league I would take over Aaron Rodgers.
5 years.
Aaron Rodgers throwing through traffic and putting it right in your chest, bro.
Still, man.
But y'all gotta look at it
You
like
still got to blow him out.
Pittsburgh
It's not basketball.
Pittsburgh is a run the ball, play defense team. It's not a we're gonna throw the ball 50 times a game. So y'all can't expect Aaron Rodgers to all of a sudden come in and just toss the ball all around. That's not Pittsburgh. That's not their style. So he has the defense coming in. He has a couple wide receivers. I don't know who their rookies is, like you said, but they got Metcalf. Like, he's not gonna throw the ball all around the yard. So y'all, what people expect out of him, that's not what you're gonna get out of him, because that's not the system he's in. All he has to do is not throw the ball away.
But does he have the attitude to accept?
He's gonna have to.
Does he have the attitude to accept, like, okay, we're gonna run the ball, but when we need you,
Yeah, but he'll pick him up quarterback, bro. He can take the game over anytime he wants to.
And your running game is protection.
Years ago.
I'm gonna bring in the Superback. I'm gonna bring in the Superback to hear his conversation on this.
4 of their 6 draft picks were defensive picks, and the 2 on offense was a running back and a quarterback. So I'm not so sure Tomlin was ready to draft offensively this past year.
So, Sean, what's your that's a cold hat you got on, brother. I got to tell you that.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Happy birthday! Thanks, guys, for birthday wishes. I appreciate it.
happy birthday again, 57 times. Right. They ain't got no birthdays.
So what's your thoughts on this?
On the Aaron Rodgers thing,
Yeah.
first of all, FGB, that's for starters. All right. That's for starters. He's always, and I'm with you. He's always going to be a Packer. It doesn't matter what uniform he's wearing. He's going to be a Packer. All right. I think that he can help this team. I don't know how much though. I'm really concerned about the dynamic between him and Tomlin. All right, he's a diva. Tomlin's hardcore. Ain't putting up with anything. So I'm wondering how that's gonna play out.
They're gonna clash for a minute.
He'll find out during training camp.
Yeah, but even at this, but by the same token, if there's a point in the season, like what's going to happen? Like who got more weight at that particular point in the season? You know what I mean? Because they might want something run, and Aaron Rodgers may not want it done a certain way. He may change it. I see a lot of. I just don't see it. I see it oil than water. Talent wise, his talent has never been in question. Never been in question. All right, he's just phenomenal. Definitely a Hall of Famer. I hate to say it, but probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. But his attitude is what's gonna. I think it could derail Pittsburgh. What if he's not throwing the ball enough to his liking? Do you have enough weapons for him? Is he going to start saying how he wants Randall Cobb over there now? And what are his demands? There's going to be a lot. There's a lot that I have questions about. I don't think it's a great fit. I think if he was just there to play football and he didn't bring all his drama, I think he'd be a real good fit. But his drama causes me to ask a lot of questions, to have a lot of pause about him being on the Steelers.
Well, Lex got a question for you based on something you just said.
Happy birthday, my brother. I got a
Thanks, bro.
real profound question.
Like, by the way, this way.
Happy birthday. Yeah. Anyhow, like I'm real big on yards after the catch. Yak, as we know it, right? And I'm curious to know what the yak percentage was when Fields and was it Wilson last year? When they were sharing the quarterback helm. What was it then versus what Aaron Rodgers is going to bring to the table? Because I understand he's a diva. I'm not knocking that. I understand he's arrogant. I'm not knocking that. Everything that comes with him. It's a whole party and paparazzi party with him. But I believe he's going to put wide receivers and running backs and potentially fullbacks and definitely tight ends in positions to have more yak after the catch, bro. And that's what we're not giving him credit for. Every receiver that he's had, he's made better. The yardage has went up. They've become Pro Bowl receivers, all pro receivers based off the yards after the catch. And that starts with ball placement. If he's catching them, as soon as they break in their route, there's not a defense that can stop them. It don't matter what secondary they're going up against. If he's picking and popping and slicing through the defense. So we have to give him unofficial credit for that because he hasn't proven that he hasn't done it yet. But he's done it everywhere else he's been when he's healthy.
Well, I would if this was 4 years ago, I would agree with you 100%.
I say it.
But in the last 4 years, he hasn't been that dude. He hasn't been the dude that we hate. We still hate him because he plays and talks a lot of shit. All right, and he still beats us. But he hadn't been that dude. He hadn't been that dude against other teams. He hasn't been that dude against other top defenses. He hasn't been that dude that we came to learn and hate, to truly hate because he was so damn good in the first 10, 12 years of his career.
But he hasn't played in a culture since McCarthy like this. He actually forget the Packers' old culture. We're talking about a Steelers culture, a winning culture, an accountability culture. So I think that we should leave him some wiggle room to have an opportunity to prove himself at this stage of his career at 40, 41.
But remember that, but like I said earlier, this team wasn't built around Rodgers. This team's not built on what Aaron Rodgers does. Metcalf's not a catch it 5 yards and take it 20. Even though I think he can, he's a beast. But this team wasn't built. Okay, we got.
But it's positioning though. Check it out. It's positioning though. If he get that receiver right out of that break and he wide open, there will be yards after the catch. Bro. There will be additional.
I don't know that receiver.
Well, who was the wide receiver he played with in Green Bay that he brought over to the Jets?
Devontae Adams.
Lazard.
Devontae Adams.
And they didn't do nothing.
They could be past their receiving prime.
And he passed his quarterback prime.
But y'all don't think, Sean, let me ask you this. Y'all don't think that he knows this is his last year. He's not announcing.
The last 2 years.
But he knows this is his last year. He's walking into a situation You have nothing to do with this. We're not bringing none of your receivers. We're not listening to none of that. You don't think Pittsburgh had that conversation with him? Look, dude. Hey, before we even get started, we love that, right? We're not bringing a single receiver you gonna suggest. We're not doing none of it. This is basically our style. We are a run first, play deep, move the ball, score type team. So we're gonna throw the ball because you're Aaron Rodgers. We're gonna throw the ball, but you ain't gonna be slinging it all over like this. This is not that type of system. He had to have that conversation with Pittsburgh before he agreed to come.
But how do we not know it's not a 50-50
he-
partnership, though?
And if he's talking to the Arthur Smith dude, like, yeah, we're gonna put some stuff in for you. You Aaron Rodgers, right? You supposed to make out, right? But we ain't slinging it all around the yard, right?
So we got a question on the board here. Does this put the Steelers in Super Bowl contention right away?
No, you ain't got to finish the question.
They're not going to win the North.
First of all, that division is too tough.
Yeah.
And but
Cincinnati quarterbacks always hurt.
Burrow, they ain't on defense.
He's gonna miss a couple games. That's just.
But to what Kev was saying, Sean, I'll let you answer too. But I think the issue you have is like you fed into his arrogance, right? Because he wanted Minnesota.
Yes, that's what he wanted.
He wanted Minnesota.
Okay.
He pretty much was in a position where they was like, damn, they're like, please, please, please. And I think he fed off that. If he really wanted to go to Pittsburgh after the game, if that was really his choice, he would have been signed. And then he could have just said, I got some personal things away from the team. He didn't have to wait to do this. We all know he wanted
Minnesota.
He wanted Minnesota. Of course he did. And he's also looking at the fact that, like you said, it's the end of the road for him. I just don't think when you're talking about a coach that could be on his way out, this is the right situation to have a guy with that attitude. You know, he comes in. Watch the very first press conference. Right after they play the Jets first, by the way, which is ironic because Fields with the Jets and then Rodgers with Pittsburgh. Right? Let them lose the game and let's see how he approaches the press conference. That's going to tell you everything.
Look, this is the first time in NFL history. I heard it the other day. The first time in NFL history that two teams will face off with quarterbacks who used to start for the opposite team in week one.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the first Sunday night game too.
No, it's not. No, they already got.
Yeah, they already announced
They already announced that.
They can flex it though.
No, they can't.
No, they don't flex until later in the year.
Until after week 6.
They have to go.
No flexing until after week 6.
As long as when he bring his ass to the Chicago, we whoop they ass. That's all. Because he threw a shot at the Bears last week. I'm sick of it.
What they asked him, what he supposed to say?
He said only Bears fans care. Packers fans don't give a fuck about the Bears. He talking shit, man.
Well, they asked the man about Chicago.
He said, I love Chicago more than Chicago loves me.
He did say that.
He said what?
He loves Chicago more than
Chicago.
right. So
Arrogance.
Play for the Bears.
You know, and part of the arrogance is why I like him so much and why I hate him so much. He's just an arrogant prick.
What QB1 is not arrogant.
But they talk about Sanders being arrogant and this and that. But when he do it, it's cool.
Now, I don't think it's cool, TB. I don't think it's cool. People are annoyed by it. But when you got a Super Bowl and how was it got 4 MVPs, you get a little leeway, get some slack. You know what I'm saying? You get some slack. And by the way, TB,
get away with it so long.
Hey, and by the way, TB, reports that Shador is just killing it.
Yep.
Killing it. In Cleveland. Killing it.
So bye-bye Gabriel.
Yeah. Oh, he's that was a wasted draft pick. Dylan Gabriel. Wasted draft pick.
What did I say? I said he was shit at Oklahoma.
What?
Oregon.
Was garbage at Oklahoma.
I'm just surprised you saying this.
He left and went to Oregon.
He left that for
Oh, that's why you just because.
No,
Okay.
no, that wasn't a Caleb Williams situation. Caleb Williams pissed me off leaving Oklahoma.
He left with the coach.
He left with the coach, though. Right? The coach had to put 2 guys number 1 in the draft.
So everybody leave Oklahoma, but neither here nor there is Kevin.
Troy Aikman.
No, you fucking lying. Shit. might leave.
No, I'm pulling for Shador just because how they play him. Like you can call it what you want.
I'm pulling for him.
That young man was not a fifth round pick.
Not at all.
Even if you didn't think he was a first rounder, come on, man, second, third.
That was all about his dad.
Yeah, man. And there was some personal stuff with that, and it seemed like once again NFL got together and said what they wasn't gonna do, and then they put him out there.
Well, they flex their muscle.
Yeah,
They flex their muscle.
And then let's see a GFY to Joe Flacco. I ain't mentoring nobody.
So,
I can't.
all right, we'll switch gears to
It
Fedora.
said real quick. It says a lot about Fedora's character, though.
Yeah, he
He
got
ain't
something
been
to prove.
bad. He
got
ain't
something to
said
prove.
nothing. He came in and output. He didn't just perform. He's outperformed everybody.
But remember,
First
they
in the
were
locker
saying
room,
that
first on the field, last on the field.
he had an attitude and he was this and all of this.
but listen, two things can be true though. He could have been a little stuck up, entitled little prick during the meetings, okay, and he could have had a come to Jesus moment and said, okay, I need to buckle down because I got this attitude. Those two things can be true at the same time, So I don't know, but all I know is right now he's getting rave reviews. He's talking about he's saying late with wide receivers, or saying he's getting some of the security guards when receivers aren't there, so he can kind of hit his spots. He's doing a lot, man. He's doing a lot.
He throwing the security guards. It's like him throwing the TV. I mean, what?
So he hit his spots.
No disrespect.
Haven't we all made mistakes as young men? That's a part of the process.
I mean, that's part of the process, but I think the draft thing definitely humbled him. I don't think he would have, regardless of the way he got drafted, I think he would have worked hard anyway. That's just him. Yeah,
I agree with you, Luck. You know why? His last name is Sanders, because Deion Sanders. Say what you want about prime time. There was no him and Jerry Rice would go at it in practice. There was no hard. He's those guys. There are no harder workers in practice than Deion Sanders. So he instilled all the things he instilled in his children. That's got to be one of them. You practice, and you talk to him. He talks about it with his players. You practice with a purpose. You see the little clip on video. Because why'd you practice? I practice to be great. I didn't practice just to get through practice. I practiced to be great. He instilled that in his sons. So yeah, it's not surprising that Shador's the work ethic that he has is second to none, is being raved about by everybody in the organization.
Let's talk about let's talk about the secret in the closet. Nobody wanted to draft him because head coaches was afraid they was going to lose their job. As soon as Shador would have got unhappy as a top 20, top 30 pick, for how many picks in the first round? Top 30, whatever it is. As soon as he would have got unhappy, the first thing that Stephen A. would have did, and Shannon Sharp and everybody else would have did, was call for that coach to get fired and everybody else on that team so Deion Sanders could come.
Well, that's definitely why.
Right, and that's why he went to the
That's why his team did.
Because if you look at the draft, like I'm tired of this young brother getting bashed because the first quarterback that got drafted, he was dancing, he had platinum on, he was probably the flashiest dude at the draft. Didn't nobody say nothing about that. He was allowed to be himself, but this brother couldn't be himself because of who his daddy was. And I won't guarantee it, but I would bet my last dollar on it. At some point, if there's a power shift that needs to be made, Deion will be the head coach of whatever team he's playing for somewhere down the line. If that's what needs to happen. Don't think Deion done with his power play. They may have shut him up for a moment.
Well,
it ain't over yet.
Cleveland got a coach.
I'm not saying he's a bad coach.
No, I'm just saying, but I will, to your point, I'll go with this. I think Shador will be starting by week 6.
I was going to ask that question.
I think he might be the week 1 starter.
I think they.
I don't think week
As
one.
far as quarterbacks injury prone anyway.
But they still don't stop.
You know what I'm saying? He got guaranteed money. He ain't gonna mind sitting down. He gonna stop very well. You know what I'm saying?
I think he might be week 1.
He's gonna be a week 1 starter, bro.
Well, who do they have? They got like 7 quarterbacks, and he's out playing all of them. Joe Flacco's old. Dylan Gabriel sucks. Kenny Pickett sucks. Shador, and there's one more over there that I don't remember who's there. The 5th one.
I would bet my last dollar. Shador gets
on the roster, but he ain't gonna play.
If he gets ample playing time in the preseason and he dominates, somebody in trouble, bro.
So
How you gonna explain that to the fan base?
So they'll do this.
Flacco is a
How you
state
gonna
police.
tell us how you gonna sell tickets if you know the best product is on the bench because of who is damaged?
I'll say this.
He's hurt.
He's going to
Speaking on
get
Anthony Richardson, he got a shoulder injury now.
Again?
Yeah, he got about 3 more years in the league. He done.
Anthony Richardson and the coach. He got a shoulder injury.
Well, guess who's going to take his place?
Right.
So at the end of the day, Kevin, I know you know this, and I know y'all know this, right? At the end of the day, the NFL is about generating money and generating views.
Yeah.
This young man is going to end up being the highest paid quarterback in the league on endorsements in the next 2 to 3 years.
Nah.
I don't.
I guarantee you, bro. If he don't get
I
injured,
think
and he
Daniel-
continues to stay humble, if he continues to stay humble,
That be
and he
dangerous.
brands himself correctly, Nike's going to give him more than what he already got.
I'm
Because of who is
going
damaged.
to say this.
That be Daniels or Caleb.
He
He's
can
going
fuck
to
around and be the face of the league, bro.
He's
That
going
be
to get.
Daniels or Caleb.
He's going to get ample time in the preseason. We all know that, right? You ain't going to see Flacco them too tough.
Caleb who?
So he'll do that.
From the bed?
But if y'all telling me that he gonna ball out in the preseason, all of a sudden start week one, y'all crazy. They got 2 dudes in front of them. I'm not saying they're better than them. What I'm saying is, well, Gabe will be gone by next week. But what I'm saying is, he's gonna ball out. And yes, like 5-6 games in, depending on how they start, yeah, people gonna be called, like, man, put the rookie in. Let's see what we got, right? But it ain't gonna be game 1.
Gabriel be that long.
Kevin, let me ask you this: whether it's game 1 or game 6.
So you signed Flacco and Pickett. You did it. They
But you know Pickett. We know Pickett sucks.
Number 1, game 1.
We know Pickett sucks.
What happens if the fan base stops buying tickets because they want to see Shador?
That's gonna be 5, 6, 7 games in. That's not gonna be game 1.
Well, let's start here. Ain't nothing else to do.
Listen, if he's not performing,
It depends on how they start.
If he show out in the
Ain't
preseason,
like it's
if he show out in the preseason,
Anticipate he will.
if he show out in the preseason, you're saying that he won't get a shot in week 1.
I think
What's their starting quarterback name?
they don't have we don't have
Flacco didn't pick.
So if Flacco start,
He would.
get banged up, which he will in game 1, because he's 40, 41 years old. No knock to him, but Father Time is going to defeat it, right?
He can't move.
What has Pickett done in this league?
Well, they went out and got him.
But I'm saying, what has Pickett done?
He's a backup.
So you got Shador.
He's not a
You
starter.
got Shador who's coming in with all this praise and a hellified resume that's done it on the collegiate level, on 2 different levels on the collegiate level, and resurrected the entire fucking program, bro. Who did it on national TV while being blasted? Hold on, let me finish. While being blasted, while saying he was too arrogant, still showed up every day. People fail to mention how much money he donates on any given weekend to all these different societies and children who are ill and things of this nature. Bro, he is a Brandon tycoon. Believe me when I tell you.
Well, he did that as soon as he touched down in Cleveland.
Right.
As soon as he touched down.
Right.
As soon as he touched down.
He started the PR trail as soon as he got there.
he didn't get that from his dad. That didn't, Mr. Marketing himself.
He may finish game 1.
Flacco will be cut before the season starts. Don't forget you still got all that money you paying the massage team.
Yeah. All right.
So that's one
He's
quarterback
on the roster, but he's not gonna play this year. Remember, he re-injured his
He's still on the roster.
Who was that?
Watson. So they know he's not playing.
He's
He's
still
just still on the roster.
But he's getting paid.
He's still getting paid.
Yeah,
Alright,
bad.
So
It's
that
gonna
which is trash. But he young. But he young. He's still trade bait. Dylan Gabriel, young, trade bait.
So you think all this gonna be done before September?
Yeah, Flacco be young. They won't keep Flacco.
They won't keep Flacco.
No.
So if they don't keep Flacco, guess who's gonna start?
Kenny
I
Pickett.
just told you, Shaq.
Kenny Pickett.
Nah.
No.
The only
He's not gonna elevate
problem-
all the way up. I'm not saying he's not gonna start, Sean, but it won't be game.
But have you
The only problem is that if he shows out with the ones in preseason,
Yeah.
Yes.
if he shows out with the ones, like,
He'll
it
get
might
a shot.
show up, it can't be showing out with the 2s and the 3s. If he's allowed to go out with the ones and he shows out with the ones, yeah, we might have a whole nother conversation about week 1.
Have you seen the other quarterbacks' interviews? Have you seen how intimidated they are when Shador is brought up?
Oh yeah.
These dudes, their
they-
voice inflection change, bro.
But I
They're
think
intimidated as well.
the climb is going to be tough because you pretty much only got 2 preseason games, right? Where he's going to play with significant players, right? The last preseason game we know is just trash.
But what if he made second and third stringers look good?
But what you got to look at too, though, he's splitting reps with 3 other quarterbacks. That's a lot of reps to split in practice.
I understand.
That's not normal. So he may not even have a chance to prove himself to go all the way to 1. I agree with you. He will start at some point.
But what if they don't perform and he come in and perform?
Here's the issue.
You know how much
Flacco
pressure?
ain't gonna play that much in the preseason.
You know how much pressure Flacco and what's the other dude's name? I'm sorry.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett under just because this dude is there?
Got you. But
They made
doing-
pressure.
you gotta listen to what you.
You know what he's been doing has been crazy. The media has been they've been charting. They've been giving you pass percentages of OTAs.
And you never get that.
Who the hell in the last, as long as I've been watching and playing football, I never have heard a media outlet say, "Oh, he was 6 for 8 today, 100 something yards with 2 touchdowns in OTAs." Not even mini camp or training camp, mini camp.
Which means he's a big fucking deal.
It means
He's a big deal.
It means nothing. They don't even have pads on right now. So it means nothing.
But you seen what the man can do with pads on. It may not have translated to the NFL yet, but it will.
You ain't seen it in the NFL.
We just saying that jump to be able to start from week 1.
Who's been his quarterback mentor since he's been in high school or since junior high?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Do you think this man is not on the phone with him every week? Do you think this
No,
man
he
is
can't be.
working out with him?
But that ain't coaching. That ain't coaching.
Yeah, but
He's not
legally,
supposed to be.
Do
I don't
you
think
think
legally he can't
Tom
be.
Brady don't have influence in the NFL?
Hey, John, they got burner phones. They got burner phones.
Oh,
Ownership with the
hey, some people call them burner phones, others call them BDPs, bust down phones. I mean,
Why did they get the rest of Tom Brady? Why the Raiders didn't draft?
Exactly.
So they stuff that he felt to that. He ain't ready.
Well,
Is he a majority
remember,
owner?
the owners,
no, minor.
the owners all got together to prove a point in the NFL. So basically, wasn't nobody drafting them early.
Well,
Right?
yeah, if you heard, he was taken off the board. He wasn't even allowed to be on some team's board.
Right.
And back to you. You don't think Caleb Williams or Jay Daniels will be the first in the league in 3 years?
Caleb, I have nothing but respect for you, but I'm about to speak my mind.
Okay.
Caleb left USC to go to a smaller program because he couldn't produce at USC. Oh no, he left Oklahoma because he couldn't produce there to go to USC.
Well, he followed the coach.
No, he followed the coach.
That's y'all opinion. I've never seen him do something that's this mind blowing to me. This dude had all this buzz coming in. Is he going into year 2 or year 3?
Did he win?
This is how much I don't even.
Did he win the Heisman?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
So he's going into year 2.
Mhm.
He did not show me anything, in my opinion, to show me that he had superior leadership qualities to play for one of the most historic franchises in NFL history. They removed Justin Fields and gave this man everything that Justin Fields didn't have. He had a Pro Bowl receiver, because they're 1 or 2 Pro Bowl receivers. They're still in their prime.
The only one he had in his prime was DJ.
They're still in their prime.
The only one he had was DJ.
And he had a top 10 wide receiver. Who?
Well, the man took 70
From-
sacks. What you want him to do? The man took 70 sacks.
He's out of his done.
No. What's the dude that they
Pro
drafted?
Bowl.
The receiver.
Pro Bowl.
You got all this. Time out. You got all this.
Well, the man took 70 sacks.
They supposedly enhanced the offensive line. I'm not gonna say it looked that much more enhanced. But what did he do
You gotta talk to
Right.
Bears.
I don't know.
to say
You gotta talk to Bears.
that he's the new leader of the regime and he's gonna take the Bears?
Well, when you look at the rookie,
Hold on, fam. I want to hear this because he just said that Caleb. Matter of fact, not just say he said it multiple times during this podcast that he's gonna be one of the faces of the NFL. How in the fuck is he gonna be?
All right. Now, so first of all, for you to say that, yeah. First of all, you must have watched college football. All right, because the boy dominated as a freshman at Oklahoma and a sophomore. Dominated.
I'm not a fan.
Walked. Every game that the Bears lost, he damn near brought him back and put him in the lead with less than 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. Every game.
I was at the Bears Packers game.
Plus he threw for what? 35, 36, 100 yards?
35.
Right.
I'm not
Plus, he had a defensive head coach that had no idea. They fired the offensive coordinator after what? Game 5 or 6?
That's normal for the Bears. Tell me something we
All
got.
right. So What didn't he do that didn't show you that he's a leader?
Watch this. Justin Fields willed the Bears to victories by himself.
What victories?
Running the ball, throwing the ball.
How many games at the end did he
They
get
let
up?
this man get murdered and enhance the entire offensive side of the ball so that he could come in and do what? What did he do last year? He's a lottery pick.
When did they do that?
When you look at all the rookie quarterbacks, though, he pretty much bro.
I will say this. I might be biased because I'm a Justin Fields fan and I don't like what they did to him, but I don't think he was the quarterback to be blessed with all that cachet and all that new talent.
You got if you got no
Man, that's a man after my own heart.
Right there.
What?
That's a man after my own heart right there.
You know, let me say this. There wasn't a rookie quarterback in that class, including Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, that could have succeeded in the shit show that was the Bears last year.
The McCaffrey play a part in that.
With that coaching staff and how that all that unfolded, I don't think Jaden Daniels nobody. And the fact that now I get it because everybody looks at the wins. Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams' numbers were not that. It wasn't that difference, right? And on top, and we talked about on Sean's show, they didn't give him a veteran quarterback in that quarterback room. They set him up. It was the worst thing you could ever do to a number 1 overall pick. And I think he still had a pretty good rookie season.
He did.
But
He had 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He did take a lot of sacks. I'll give you that. 68. We told you to round up. Don't worry about this.
But when you talk about character,
Quarterback coming in as a rookie, I thought he was set up like that.
when you talk about character, bashing your teammates in the media,
Who did he bash?
he also said, "I never wanted to play for the Bears." He's been on record as
That was his camp, man. That was before the draft.
For him to say that, he was at
Before the draft, man.
He was at volunteer camp. If he didn't want to be here, he wouldn't have been there all that early. No, he was there from day one.
First of all,
he should have been there. He was a rookie. He should have been there, man.
Him and his dad talked about that before the draft. He didn't want to come here because
His
of the COVID
dad said.
situation. It was the coaching situation that had them not wanting him to come here. It wasn't him.
I'm wishing him the best, but I don't want to hear shit from y'all. This dude fumbled the ball this year, fumbled the bag. If they don't even, I'm not even saying they got to win a division for me to become a believer.
Are you a bad man?
I'm trying to be. I'm trying.
Try a little hard.
I'm trying.
I'm trying to be.
I'm trying to be.
When they tried to Justin Fields, you know what they said? The guy on AM said they told one of the top scouts, now what you got to say, we got Fields. He said, y'all got the best running back in the draft. Not quarterback, running back.
But see, when people say that, they're just being idiots. Listen, whoever said that about Fields being the best running back is an idiot. All right, Fields did not. But you know what? Because people sit there and they want to make takes, and they want to be funny, and they think they're being cute. All right. If you watch Fields at Ohio State, he was not a running quarterback. He sat back in the pocket and picked people apart. He only ran here because he had to, because if his rookie year, he got no reps in OTAs. He got no reps, first team reps in minicamp. He got no first team reps in training camp. He got no first team reps in preseason games. And game 5, they throw him in. It was game 6. It's like, hey, Justin, guess what? Now you got to go in you're starting the game against Myles Garrett. So you give this guy no first team reps at all. And you expect him to go in, and he got destroyed. And that was his whole thing, is he had no line. And he's a great quarterback. He just happened to run a 4.4, 4.3, and can outrun people, which he had to do to save his life.
And I see you trying to make it, or not saying you did, but you trying to make it feel like I didn't like Fields. I do like Fields. But comparing Fields' talent to Caleb's talent, there's no context. There's no context. The shit Caleb does in one year, even with the 68, 70 sacks, the numbers he put up, Fields been doing a couple years.
I know that with Fields not having that same offensive power.
Yeah, he didn't have that. He didn't have those 3 receivers.
He didn't have 50% of the help this dude had.
And you know what? What did Fields have? The only guy Fields had was DJ Moore. He got DJ Moore for 1 year. What happened? DJ Moore had a career year, 1,300 yards. And guess what? In that career year, Cole Kmet also had a career year as well. All right. So you give him a Roma Dunze and another Keenan Allen, you see what he'd be able to do. And he wouldn't take 68 sacks because you know what? He'd be gone. He's up. He would have had another 1,000 yards in addition to more passing yards had he had to deal with that offensive line last year. He would have run. He wouldn't have stayed in the back there like Caleb did. He would have been gone. He'd have been up running, having people chasing him like he did the year before. So
and I agree, Sean. The problem is it was time to pay him. So
that's probably all it is, Kevin.
So now it was time to pay him. The very next year, y'all went out and got all that offense. The very next year, y'all went out and got all that offense for him. Something you never did for Justin Fields.
Never.
So the problem is, it was time to pay him.
Okay,
but
what offense? All what offense?
Like, we got the one people gonna get paid Wills. You didn't do this.
You brought in a rookie wide
receiver,
receiver, and you brought in an old ass wide receiver. What offense? They had to Kmet and DJ Moore.
Yeah, well, he got DJ Moore the last year.
Okay, but he still had DJ.
Okay, and he gave him a career year. Hey, TB, he gave DJ Moore 1,300 yards, bro. The most he's ever had in his career.
Cutler put 3 wide receivers in the Pro Bowl, and they say he's the worst quarterback ever. Come on, man, stop it.
Well,
dude, Cutler, don't get me started. I love me some Cutler.
Okay.
You know, if they
all the weapons y'all gave.
Fields was all that young, they could have got a first round or second round pick for him. Would they have done it? Nobody wanted that money. Nobody wanted it. Yeah. Nobody wanted it.
Nobody wanted it. So now he ain't nothing.
What would we get for him? A 6th round pick?
I'm asking. Now he ain't nothing.
I didn't say he was
a Fields fan ever.
I remember that. I remember that.
No, you know what? He don't do this. He don't do that.
We kind of got off into the Bears and way into football, and I promise y'all, we can come back to the NBA Finals. We got about half an hour. Right. We did. Well, it was the lowest rated first game ever. So
but it was a great,
you know.
But you know what? Before we started, we said if those two matchups come true, we said the ratings gonna be low for that game.
Yeah, everybody knew that.
It won't be now,
but it was a great.
It was.
Oh yeah. When you got into the second half,
it's still gonna be low rating. It is the fact. Only people that really tune in to this series is like true basketball fans.
Right.
In the state of Indiana.
Exactly.
The
issue you got is really
there's no
big storyline. And I always say this.
I'll take one of your words. There's no sexiness about this.
None at all.
There's no sexy.
And here's the thing. When you talk about, not getting into no LeBron Jordan stuff, but people watch any finals LeBron was in, either they wanted to lose or they wanted to win. It was a love-hate thing, right? People would tune in. I know females that was watching it that don't know a double dribble from a touchdown. And they was F LeBron. And then we wanted to do it. Everybody was tuned in. And all you got to do with us being in the cigar world was the shop pack Thursday to watch the game.
We was proud of it. It wasn't pack, but it was nice and proud of it.
Yeah, because it's sports, and I hate to agree with you, but it is what it is.
Ouch.
You know,
and ain't nothing else on. But
one ain't nothing else on, but the true basketball fan is going to watch basketball, you know.
But there's nothing else on by design too.
Yeah, by design. But the realist of basketball is going to watch because it's basketball. It's basketball. And you're going to get something out of it when you are a true basketball fan. Many of us here in the room love basketball.
And it actually is a great matchup.
It is.
It is.
It is.
But you can't see them ratings that's kind of screwed because if New York would have made it,
that's financial. That's financial. That's the money. Put the money involved and all that. Now you're looking at the ratings.
LeBron played at Cleveland.
I think,
but you also know another reason basketball ratings ain't like football or the World Series is because it's majority us that's in that sport. So a lot of them other people
You're pulling that card, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, but TP, we watched Miami versus Denver.
basketball.
Think about this: we watched
I think
Miami
it is
versus
a
Denver.
small
We watched that.
storyline, but people not really paying attention to it. So you got SGA, and if he wins, that would be the storyline to me. He won the Eastern Conference Finals. He got the MVP of the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference. Right. No, I'm talking about SGA. SGA. He won the Western Conference Finals MVP. He won the league MVP. If they win the championship, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be the Finals MVP. So that'd be a clean sweep of the MVPs in 1 year. So that's a small storyline.
Jordan
Green. But he'd be the youngest one that done it.
Was it Jordan Magic or Jordan Green?
Jordan.
But do we also realize too though that this would be one of the most dominant seasons in NBA history? 68 wins, the scoring champion, the league MVP like Pat ran down, and their defensive rating, they like the #1 defense in the league. Like this, like what they're doing is unheard of. But because it's OKC and they don't have that superstar, people aren't really paying attention to that.
I don't think it's because it's OKC. I think what it is, I think it's the level of competition. As dominant as the season has been, and to his point, as dominant a season as the SGA could possibly have. If you compare that and put that up against some of the greatest performances we've seen in the playoffs, it won't compare. And it's not because of the player, it's because of the competition. It's because of the teams that they're going up against. We all know and understand, and I refuse to use the term watered down league, but it's more of an international type of play in the league right now. You're seeing teams in the playoffs still scoring 120, 130 points, things like that. So it's a totally different type of ball that
that's what they want.
We watch it, and that's what the fans want. They want high scoring, things like that. So I get it.
Listen, not to touch it. Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying at the end of the day, I think his performance is spectacular and it should be revered. But at the end of the day, I don't think it'll compare to some of the performances that we've seen in our lifetimes throughout history.
The biggest problem is unfamiliarity. The biggest problem is unfamiliarity, right? Most people don't know these kids coming out of high school and they go to college for 1 year. All right, we knew people because Bobby Hurley, all right, because Larry Johnson, those guys stayed to 3 and 4 years in school. Right. So we got to see them in the tournament every year. They made their name, in the tournament every year. So when you get guys who go from high school to college to one and dones, people don't know who they are. People don't know who they are. Then they get drafted. They don't get drafted by your team. You don't know who they are. I couldn't even pronounce Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's name for 2-3 years. I didn't even know who the hell he was. Okay, so now you're people who you're not watching them. You're not familiar with them. You don't build a bond with them. Because that's what we do. We build bonds with our players, the people that we like, the schools that we like, and we see them in the tournament every year. Okay, cool. Oh, they got knocked out in the Sweet 16. Maybe next year they can get to the Final Four. And they come back and we watch them. We build a bond with them. We don't have a bond with these guys. And when they come into the league, we don't know them. And now that a lot of the people that we know, or a lot of people that have a big name are out, not a lot of people have a connection or a desire to watch these guys because they don't know them. They don't know anything about them. And that's the problem. There's no connection with these players. Why do you think the WNBA is getting so popular now? Because the Caitlin Clarks and all the girls, they got to stay 3 years. So these girls are going to be there for 3 years. You build a connection with them. They move to the next level. You follow them. You may not follow. That may not be your team, but you like that player. We're not doing that with the men's game because we have no connection. We don't even follow these guys because we don't even know who they are.
I want to piggyback off that. So one thing that a lot of people don't acknowledge that don't have a high basketball IQ, I'm not saying there's nobody on this panel. Basketball is about it's a game of runs. So film is going to be studied and new stars are going to be born in this series. I believe the series may go, I don't think it's going to go 7, but I think it's going to be a solid 6 games. So those relationships will be built. The world
now they will, yes. Hell yeah. Now they will, yes.
There will be children that
That's true, but it's not going to be to the level that we had when we grew up.
Not yet.
I'm going to say this. You're right. But next year, there's a reason why they gave Mike $40 million a year to broadcast these games. They're bringing back the OGs to rebuild this league because it's watered down And I'm not throwing him underneath the bus.
Want to talk shit about it.
True. I'm not saying this to get off of what we're saying, but my man from Memphis, he was supposed to be the face of the league. He caught them pistol cases and all that other stuff and doing what he was doing and being immature. And there's other players that just have not met that threshold of stardom, and he was going to be it, Ja Morant. And there's other players that are scaling back, like the Kevin Durant. Like we're not saying names, but I'm going to throw some names out there. We watched the finals for Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, the Splash Brothers. It is a changing of the guard.
It's a changing of the
and we're getting ready to go into a season where we're about to see, as we were communicating before the show even started. Like, I believe Halliburton is a year or two away from being where he's truly going to be. And the world is going to fall in love with him. I feel like he's in that cycle where Steph Curry was a year or two before he realized, I'm Steph Curry. I'm not saying he's going to be a Steph Curry.
He's becoming a star.
I think he's becoming a superstar.
No,
He's not a superstar. I think he's a star now.
I think he's becoming a superstar.
No.
People just not ready to accept him.
He's a star.
He's not a star yet. He's becoming a star.
No, he's a star. He's not a superstar.
He's
No, I
becoming
believe he's a star.
Yeah, that's bullshit, man.
I believe he's a star already.
Nobody knew about him.
That's because he plays for a
all
small market
this
team,
season,
bro.
man. We
Halliburton
knew about him because we know
Halliburton.
he's been good, but he's not star level yet. He's becoming a star.
You don't think that what he's done so far in the playoffs? You don't think what he's done this far has put him in the star category?
That was the best thing for him.
Ben, you don't.
Was the 12th man.
Ben, you don't think what he did what he's done to this point in the playoffs?
He still made it. He was called.
I said you don't think what he's done to the point in this playoffs makes him a star? I think he's a star ready to be a superstar. How many?
He has become a star. That's what I'm saying.
Look at Halliburton.
He's a star now.
Because I'm the ultimate.
He's a star now, Sean.
I believe he's a star now. Yeah. God, I'm agreeing with KDL crazy today.
Hey, we doing good. We doing good.
Kev.
But look, real shit. If you're a superstar, they come to the turnstiles to see you.
This is true.
So
Yeah. Yeah, no one's coming to see Tyrese Halliburton yet.
They're coming to the
I want to know on record.
So let me put this out here.
He's a star.
Let me put this out here. Let me put this out here. I'm not hating.
You hate hard.
A star don't put up 8 points.
But look at all
In multiple games. In multiple games.
Stuff, though, bro.
In multiple games. He fall off the radar too much. He's inconsistent, so he is becoming a star.
So watch this.
He's a
Oklahoma didn't do that
SGA is not a superstar. These are not
Oklahoma didn't do
superstars.
that last
Look back in our history and our time, the players that we saw, we know what a superstar is, and they are not nowhere near. He is a star in the making.
Yeah, but we also have to readjust what superstar and star is from our superstars.
Are you saying that because we play in a small market?
Good, not great.
He's not the best player on their team.
He's not.
No.
I'm gonna say this.
Halliburton is not a star. He's already a star.
I'm gonna say this.
Let's not do that.
I'm gonna say this.
What is Siakam? If Siakam the best on the team, what is he?
And he's not even. He's not a star.
Siakam is the best player on their team.
Right. So
He's a star too. He's a star.
Very much so.
Siakam is a star. He is. And so is Halliburton. What I'm saying is
They
there's a difference in the
They have just stepped into. They got 1 foot in the room for a star and one as just a mediocre player. That's good.
So let's do this.
That's good.
Okay, let's do this.
And he's stepping every category.
Is he a top 5 point guard in the league? No.
I would say top 10.
Okay, then he's not.
He asked you a question.
That makes him a star, though. That makes him a star.
But you're not top 5
I never
at
said
your
he was-
position, not in the league,
What
but
I
at
said
your
was,
position.
but that just because he's not top five point guards in the league, don't mean he's not a star.
But
Let
he,
me-
I forgot the gentleman.
What is Siakam then?
Hey, guy,
Okay.
Let me ask y'all this.
Siakam is
I forgot who's the gentleman, the cigar guy. Who's the guy next to TB? My mistake. I can't remember his name.
Let me ask you this.
Hold on, he about to ask you.
Okay, go ahead.
You mentioned something about the familiarity. All right, remember I brought it up and you piggybacked off it.
Correct.
This is where you become superstars in the postseason.
True.
Right, and I think this is where you're right. Where Tyrese Halliburton, he's going to be that dude. people are going to want to come to see him because now you're getting to watch him. All right, remember everyone fell in love with Loyola that year. Why? Because they kept game-winning shots. You can't keep hitting game-winning shots and people not fall in love with you. There's
right.
your rapport that
That's
you're
why I say
building.
he's becoming a star, Sean.
But I think he's there already, Ben. I think he's there already.
His dad is a bigger star than he is.
His dad's notorious. His dad's more notorious than his dad's infamous.
Am I not lying, though?
No, his dad's infamous.
Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
So
You're lying. His dad is infamous.
I want to go back to my point. Watch this. I want to go back to my point of film. Superstars are made when they can dominate a series and make the adjustments. What if OKC can't make the adjustments because Halliburton is sitting down with his coaches right now watching the film? He said, this is a way that I could dominate the series. What if he come out and beat the shit out of them the next 3 or 4 games? Then what? Is he a superstar then?
It will become a superstar.
I said he's a star. This man said he wasn't a superstar.
I said he is coming up.
It takes much more than that to make superstars. There's been players who done had runs, and
I get it.
Andre Iguodala got a Finals MVP.
Hold on.
They did the same thing about Kawhi. They did it twice.
You just gave me the he. Robert fucking Ory. Big guy. Is he a star?
He's a playoff
Is he a star?
He's a playoff star.
Is he a star?
He's a playoff star.
Playoff star, yeah.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Kevin, let me ask you this. Not that I don't respect your opinion, but I respect yours in this moment. Watch this. Every time a team knows you getting the ball in crunch time and you perform and dominate, what does that make? Even though they playing for you, they didn't watch film on you. They know where exactly you're gonna catch the ball on the court.
You know what that's called? You know what that's called?
Big shot Bob.
That
means
you're a threat. You're a threat.
You more than a threat.
You're not a star until you're doing this every day, every night, 365 days a year.
This is what I'm gonna say about Halliburton. I'm not.
Right, he like the fourth option.
Right. I'm gonna rest my case on Halliburton after this. This is what I'm gonna say. By no means am I saying he's the caliber of these players. Everybody knows Scottie Pippen's my favorite athlete of all time in sport. I love me some Tony Kukoc. I love me some Lamar Odom. All these dudes with stack sheet fillers. I believe he's gonna fall in that realm. I'm not saying he's gonna become that, but he's gonna become that triple threat that teams are gonna hate to have to create a game plan for. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody that you just named, except for Scotty, is a superstar. Everybody you just named, Scotty is the only superstar that you named.
Lamar Odom did the same thing. The Lakers won a championship because of it. 2 championships. Without Lamar Odom on that roster,
Kobe had nothing to do with it. All my checks.
You ask any of the younger fans now, who is Lamar Odom? They're going to say, oh, that's dude that was at the Bunny Ranch.
They ain't gonna say
They
that.
ain't going to say nothing about his name.
the dude showed up in the playoffs. Right.
40 man. 45 man.
Man, 6 man. Yeah.
Did you get my point? Did you get my point?
He's a superstar.
Ain't nobody who changed behind you.
Correct.
So
Now you can't play with lose.
So
You
Derek
can't
White,
play
but Joe
with
White,
Joe
and
White.
he got
You're not
He's star.
Listen to what I'm about to say.
Point.
Halliburton is a
Time out.
mismatch.
Time out.
He's a mismatch.
Time out. Time
I
out.
told him he's 6'1".
Time out.
He's 6'1".
Please
He's
say
a
what you
solid
just said.
6'7" point guard, bro.
Say
Nobody can guard the man.
Say what did you just say?
I said, is Derek White a superstar?
Who?
Derek White.
Of course he's not.
Is Derek White considered a star?
No.
It's not a star on the Chicago Bulls.
No. I said Derek White.
We're talking about from Boston.
If you consider him a star?
No, I think he's an elite defender.
I do.
No.
Elite
So,
defender.
I
You
think
don't
he's
say
an elite
you
defender.
don't use the word star with him.
So Derek White one of the top.
He is a threat.
He's one of the top.
And he will hit a shot when he's called upon.
He's a threat,
Dude,
not a star.
he's like 34th option, but he can give you 20 in any game.
I'll give you a better compliment.
Top defender and rebound.
Better defense. Is my boy Drew Holiday a star?
No.
I think he's a glue
No.
guy. I think he's a hell of a leader.
Not a star.
Drew Holiday.
You know what, man? We mix up stars, man, and we try
Ask
to
them
take
all.
up and make up superstars, man. It's levels, man. Because
It's
somebody
levels in
got
this
a playoff, that don't make him a star nor a superstar. Yes, I think Halliburton is up and coming. I think he's a star already. I do not think he's a superstar.
365, 24
There-
hours a day. that is a star. When you come in and you giving it all, and now you got commercials, you got everything, you're all over the face of it.
So is it fair to say he got a clutch gene since he hit the game winner?
Plus, shit, I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
Well, I'll agree with clutch.
So now I can go back into that. So you saying that? How many clutch shots Derek White did for Celtics?
Many.
7.
But he's not a star.
He's not a star.
So if Halliburton hits 2 or 3 more game-winning or game-deciding shots in this series, what is he then?
Robert Ory.
Yeah, but Robert Ory's not the guy that they try to stop. Tyrese Halliburton is the dude on Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton is that dude on Indiana.
Everybody trying to stop Siakam. That's who they game playing for Siakam.
That's who beat the Knicks.
He's the best player on the team.
Yes.
But you can't
This is my thing about superstars.
crazy. We're not. He's
That's for it's 10 seconds left. We know who's getting the ball.
okay.
It ain't Siakam.
Not off the rebound, and then we just go down.
It ain't Siakam. It ain't Siakam.
It's get the ball and get Durant. Get the hell out the way.
Let me ask you this.
Durant is a superstar.
Let me ask you this. I love me some Siakam.
LeBron, superstar.
I'm a big-time Siakam fan. Watch this question. I'm a big-time Siakam fan. If they win or lose, and Siakam leaves or gets traded or he walks, whether he's a free agent, whatever can happen, and he leaves in the offseason, they depart. And they bring somebody in and Halliburton wins again, or this new person is the deciding factor, and Halliburton is the starting point guard, and he allows whoever this new star is to thrive, what is he then? What if we're not talking about Siakam next year and he do it again?
That's a lot of hypotheticals, though.
Robert Ory.
I think what you're looking at is, can he take the Steph Curry path? Remember, Curry wasn't highly regarded coming into the league.
But we're not even giving him a chance.
No. Hear me out.
This is his first time going this far, bro.
What I'm saying is Curry rose to
10 minutes.
superstar.
10 minutes.
Curry kind of rose superstar, but you had to the level of when you're talking about the Jordans and the LeBrons and the Magics, people that we watched their journey to championship. They were already superstars before that, right? We wanted to see them win their first championship. We found the league pretty much created them, right? Put the endorsements behind them, everything behind them. Steph worked his way up, and then when he started winning, then he kind of jumped into that category. I'm with you. I think Halliburton can, but he's gonna have to do it.
365, 24.
He's gonna have to do it next year.
But
If Indiana becomes one of those franchises, they become a dynasty. Yeah.
But remember what I said, and to my point, remember I used Steph as an example. People knew Steph was going to be that dude before he knew he was going to be that dude. Steph went through a 2 to 3 year period where he would hit a couple game winners, and he was like, then Kobe started saying, this dude is next up.
With them,
you know what I'm saying? This is true. This is true. But he still went through that process. And the thing that bothers me about Halliburton is that he came in and dominated all the way through the finals. Granted, the East is a whole lot easier conference to dominate in, but Oklahoma has had to go tier for tier and learn. This dude that came in with no experience of playing in the finals. No experience. Did they go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year? Correct me if I'm wrong.
They did not.
They did.
Yeah, they lost to Boston.
So they lost to Boston. So Oklahoma is what, a year 3 or 4 of them building this
Oklahoma
supposed dynasty, and they got all lottery picks. You know, Indiana didn't trade some players. Granted, they drafted well too. They've traded some players. They can plug and play. This dude don't even have half the experience that OKC had or at SGA, and he doing it on the same level as them. So we got to give him credit for that.
Well, let me say.
I'm not taking away his credit.
They've been.
I'm not saying you are.
Eastern Conference Finals last year. Eastern Conference Finals and the Finals this year. Who did they pick up last year? Because they won shit before then. Who did they pick up and then they took off? Siakam. It was Siakam.
Well, Siakam
is the man on that team.
He's the best player.
Yeah, he is the best.
That doesn't mean he's a superstar, though, TV.
That's the difference. Siakam is the best player on Indiana, but Halliburton is the star of Indiana.
So you saying Siakam's not the
First of all,
Siakam is the star of Indiana.
Halliburton ain't even the star of the state of Indiana.
Caitlin Clark is.
That's a whole nother podcast.
I'm just saying.
That's a whole
I'm
nother
just saying.
Did I go?
Yeah, you did. She not, but she is a star.
Actually, Kelsey Mitchell.
She is a star there. She is Indiana.
Hey, and the star too. Don't forget the acknowledgement.
She is.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I'll tell you what, Caitlin is close to being a superstar. Caitlin is close to being a superstar, and here's why. If you had put her in the Olympics, and this was all the biggest mistake of women's basketball, not putting her in the Olympics. And people say, "Oh, well, who are you going to take off?" I don't give a damn who the hell you take off.
So was this a system thing again? Was this a Shador thing? We got letting her in?
This
The way we do things? Was this a
no,
system thing?
because you put her in because now you expose her to the world. Okay, you expose her to the world, and she takes that game global because no one. I mean, how many of us, even real basketball fans, couldn't name a whole bunch of people on that U.S. women's team? There's a few, but I guarantee every single person knows Caitlin Clark. And if it's you want to grow the brand, then you bring her because think of how many people wore number 9 USA jerseys back in '92 when Mike was wearing them.
Yeah.
Think of how many suburbanite girls are going to be wearing whatever number U.S. jersey she was wearing. She brings more eyes to that game, and she's got a game. She's got a game to back it up because she's doing Steph Curry stuff, 25, 30 feet of bombs on a regular. She's a star. I think she is borderline ready to be a superstar if she didn't get hurt.
But okay, let me ask you this now. Who do you take off that female Olympic team?
Thank you.
Who do I take off the Olympic team? I don't care.
What's her name?
She
ain't better than understood.
I'll tell you who they I'll tell you who you take off.
I don't care. Here's what you do.
The old dog. The old
Oldest
dog.
one, yes.
From that team.
Yes, Deanna Taurasi.
Taurasi.
Hey, listen, I really don't care.
That's just
It
like
could have been eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
She'll be a part of us?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It could have been anybody off that team. I didn't give a damn. Put her on there, expose her to the world.
Sean, that's going to be the next Olympics. She's going to be the star of the next Olympics. That's understandable. But to put her on, that was her rookie year. To take one off that Olympic team and put her on there, just to she's the next up and coming star. She had not earned that yet, so she was not ready to be on that Olympic team her rookie year. I get the global and the money and all that, but basketball wise,
don't push that aside, Kevin. Kevin, don't push that aside. The politics and the money is what it's about. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is money. Basketball is money.
I got money. The next Olympics, you are 100% right. But
now it's 4 years later.
Coming in, she hadn't even played a whole year yet.
I agree.
Let her play half a year. Take somebody off that Olympic team that had earned it and put her on it. Would have been
it's all politics, Kev.
That would have been a trap.
It's all politics.
Just like the Dream Team when they put Leighton on the team.
She played a handful of games. She put
Shaq.
Bro, she played a handful of games at that rookie year.
Kev, you're not. But this is you got to deal in reality. In reality, we have to deal with politics. In reality, we have to deal with politics, whether you want to hear it or not.
Come on, man. Stop.
She would have got 15 minutes of burn.
Rossi should have been on.
She would have got 15 minutes of burn.
I think
it was blowing people out.
But I think what Sean was saying is saying the point is
the politics.
When you're trying to boost this league, you're trying to make this league go global. They're going bankrupt. They ain't no money. That's your money. She should have been there for that purpose. It's just that. Okay, but earn is one thing.
Can I say this? In female basketball, it's big old C's than it is here.
I would agree with that.
True. They pay them like they pay the men.
Yeah.
All right. So
that's why they go over there and off.
Right. So I do agree with what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? But then Taurasi is a global name.
It's a global name, but when you're trying to boost the WNBA, you're trying to get the WNBA
from where it's at to another level.
I'm just saying, but the people that like Brianna Stewart, them big names overseas.
And you can't, and to me, I 100% agree with you. The money aspect of it and growing the game and all that. She's going to be the biggest star at the next Olympics on that U.S.
That's
team.
4 years later.
But for her to come in her rookie year, play a handful of games, then it's the Olympic break, and you take somebody off that had earned the spot.
Taurasi had been there for years. She'd been.
Kev, Taurasi listen, Kevin, Taurasi been playing. Listen, Kevin, Taurasi been playing longer than Caitlin was alive. All right. Hey, listen, Diana, your 15 fucking gold medals aren't enough. I'm saying.
Why did KD play on the Olympics for the men? How many gold medals for men? So we can't go that route. Because if that's the case,
again, back to the point,
KD should have been on the team. They've already won.
They are the top players still.
So they had earned. It's no different if
He wasn't a top player anymore, Tim.
It's no different if a rookie would have came in the NBA, Cooper Flag, and you take somebody off that Olympic team simply because he's going to be the global, he's going to make all this money for us. He hadn't earned it. He had not earned it. So
you're looking at it.
You're not talking about earning.
You're looking at it wrong, bro.
Honest rookie, play a handful of games, and then you take somebody off that Olympic team.
Kevin, you said that 3 times, and you're making me repeat myself. Kev, keep saying that. It doesn't matter. Listen,
names are big already. You can't compare that.
Kevin's still going off.
You can't put KD. Take KD off and put James Brown in.
Hey, man, came to the end of the ride. Great conversation, fellas. I appreciate you guys. Sean, thanks for jumping in.
Appreciate it.
Lex, thanks for coming on the show with us. Talk sports with us.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Even though we're going to stay on you about some of the things you said. Yeah, I ain't going to let it go and stop. But
we got to take.
Yeah, we got to take. But we need to do our part in shots. We'll start off with you, man. Say goodbye to the people out there.
I appreciate the SmokeFellas having me today, man. It was a pleasure debating with y'all. This thing with Kevin and I've been brewing for about 2-3 years, man. I think we should do it again. Do it again when we have some spicy topics pop up in the sports world.
DY.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the fellas. Happy to be back, man. Kicking in with the fellas on the show again. Shout out to the Break Cigars also. Fantastic cigar. Make sure y'all go out and go get one ASAP.
PG.
Oh, you called my name this time. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate this guy here for at least calling my name this time. And I'll see y'all next time.
TB.
Hey, appreciate y'all having me. I'm not here all the time, but I appreciate it. Great time. Shout out to the Breaks, Lex, Uncle Steve, and to the fellas.
KDL.
Appreciate everybody tuning in for the ride per the usual. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you, Lex.
Yes, sir.
Joining the show.
Right. Shout out to Barry, Gandy, Will Wheat, House. Man.
What up, House?
Thanks for your comments, man. Y'all was ringing it off today. Lefty, take us out.
Hey, man, special thanks to the Breaks, man. Lex, appreciate you coming up, man. Great cigar, man. Go check them out. There are multiple cigar shops throughout the city. So, man, go check them out, man. Black-owned business, brother. You're doing your thing, man.
On our way to being nationwide.
What's
your order online?
What's your online again?
At the end of the summer. By the end of the summer, you'll be able to order online. My website is thebreakcigars.com.
So make sure you keep following them. Also, man, 10-year anniversary, man. SmokeFellas Diva League, June 21st, June 22nd. Y'all see it out there. We'll be at Carlisle June 21st, and then we'll be at One Palm Lake June 22nd, man. Come celebrate 10 with us. It's been a long ride.
Hey, happy birthday to our fellow smoke fella, Joe.
Today ain't Joe's birthday.
Well, he said he's party. He having a party.
You're not doing nothing 4 o'clock. We have earnings. But Joe's birthday, you never party with the fellas. Come on, see how we get down.
Tell Gandy to walk up here and we'll wait for him.
What? Houston? From Houston?
I didn't know he was on with that.
As I always say, where there's smoke,
there's fellas.
All right, man, we're going to get out of here. We catch y'all.
Peace.
I'm telling you, man, I think what we should.